Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Welcome. We are actually bypassing the usual pleasantries today and completely skipping any sort of table of contents because we are jumping straight into what is literally one of the most fascinating social dynamics you could ever master. We're looking at the strategic power of the intelligent pause. Now, it sounds incredibly simple, right? But as we're about to see from the research and data we're exploring today, it is perhaps the single most dangerous social tool you can possess. We are going to completely deconstruct the psychology of conversations and show you exactly why silence, even just for a fleeting moment, completely shifts the power dynamic in any room.
So think about this for a second. Are you reacting too fast? Let's be totally honest. We live in a super high-pressure, rapid-fire world. Modern conversations, whether they're in a tense boardroom, a salary negotiation, or honestly just a normal social gathering, they can kind of feel like hyperactive ping pong matches. Society falsely rewards instant reactions. We've literally been conditioned to believe that whoever speaks first, whoever answers the fastest, must be the sharpest person in the room. But the source material we're unpacking today tells a completely different story. The pressure to perform immediately, it's a total trap.
It might sound a bit harsh, but the research points out a really hard truth. Fast reactions are essentially a low IQ habit. Seriously, when you just react instantly without thinking, you're exposing a fundamental lack of impulse control. It actually lowers your problem-solving ability in real time. I mean, we've all been there, right? You experience that sheer panic of blurting out the first thing that comes to mind just to fill an awkward silence, only to instantly regret it the second the words leave your mouth. Rushing to fill that silence doesn't make you look smart. According to psychology, it reveals that your wild impulses are driving the vehicle, not your intellect. And this brilliantly illustrates the fundamental psychological tug-of-war happening inside your brain during any conversation. On one side, you have fast thinking. This is that impulsive, chaotic energy that relies on weak control. It's basically your brain's autopilot, just blurting out whatever comes to mind to magically alleviate the pressure of silence. But on the flip side is what psychologists call System 2 dominance. This is the strategic, high-level, super logical part of your brain. The entire goal of mastering social dynamics is actively moving away from that impulsive fast thinking and anchoring yourself firmly in System 2 logic. So what is the ultimate solution to actually bridge that gap? Well, it's a number, 3. Specifically, the 3-second pause. I want to demonstrate exactly what this feels like. When you are asked a really tough question in a high-stakes environment, instead of jumping in immediately, you do this. 1, 2, 3. Did you feel the commanding effect of that silence? Just 3 seconds. In a world that constantly rewards fast reactions, the person who pauses for 3 seconds before speaking is the one who actually controls the conversation. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding what happens biologically and psychologically during those 3 seconds. You are activating something called cognitive restraint. Put simply, this is the ability to intentionally move from impulse to logic. Psychologists link this specific trait to much better emotional control and drastically fewer mistakes in communication. You see, you aren't just awkwardly stalling for time, you are creating a massive internal shift. By waiting, you're actually refining your decision instead of rushing it. You're giving your brain the literal physical space it requires to boot up that high-level logic we were just talking about. Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual strategy you can execute in the wild. It happens in 3 chronological steps. Step 1 is the trigger. Somebody asks a tough question or maybe says something provocative. Step 2, and this is where you win the game, is the 3-second cognitive restraint. You hold the silence, you just let the pressure sit there in the air. And finally, step 3, you deliver the logical System 2 response. By then, you've filtered out the emotion, you've totally bypassed the impulse, and you deliver a beautifully refined strategic answer. Okay, let's transition from the internal mechanics of your brain over to the external social dynamics. Because when you utilize the intelligent pause, you signal to everyone in the room that you have an incredibly high self-reflective capacity. You're communicating, without saying a single word, mind you, that you are an observer of the environment, not a subject to it. You aren't rattled by the frenetic pace others are trying to set. You don't dance to their rhythm. By observing the environment rather than just blindly reacting to it, you elevate your status instantly. And this brings us to a really fascinating piece of neuroscience regarding the people listening to you. It's called dopamine reversal. Get this, when you don't react instantly, you actually manipulate the brain chemistry of your peers. The delay builds a massive amount of anticipation in the person waiting for your answer. I mean, think about the suspense of watching those 3 little typing dots bubble up on your phone from someone you really want to hear from. Because they are waiting in suspense, when you finally do speak, your words trigger a release of dopamine in their brain. Your spoken words literally feel like a psychological reward to them.
You've conditioned them to value what you say simply by making them wait for it.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how your internal restraint projects outward as what we call quiet power. And there are a few clear markers of this. First, you are completely unbothered by the pressure to perform. Second, you weaponize the anticipation of your response. Third, as we just saw, your words become an actual literal reward. And finally, all of this combined makes you the most dangerous person in the room. You have the ultimate control because you control the pacing, the emotion, and the delivery of information. The silent person wielding the intelligent pause absolutely holds all the cards.
This whole concept completely redefines what it means to be the smartest person in a room. Because ultimately, intelligence is not just about knowledge, it's about control. Think about it. You can have all the facts, all the data, and all the right answers, but if you lack the impulse control to deliver them strategically, you lose your power. Boom, it's gone. True intelligence in social settings is having the discipline to master the pause. It is the control over your own mind, which in turn gives you complete control over the room.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on today. How will you use the 3-second pause in your next conversation? The next time you feel that burning urge to jump right in, to prove you know the answer, or to defend yourself instantly, just stop. Count to 3. Refine your decision, flip the dopamine in your listener's brain, and step fully into your quiet power. Take this concept, test it out today, and watch how the dynamic of your interactions completely transforms. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. It's been a blast, and I cannot wait to explore our next topic with you.